What's going on, my people? So, I just did something pretty crazy. I've been working with AI. If you guys noticed on my IG, I got all kinds of AI imagery that I'm messing around with. I like splashing the prompts with a bunch of stuff and coming up with some interesting ideas, um, rather than the same old that we see out there, you know. But the whole reason why I got into all of this is because I want to be able to make film, and there's a particular story I want to tell about a local cemetery. It's not that far from where I live, and they tell some stories about it. It may not be super famous or anything like that, but it inspired me to create a story, and so I'm gonna take some of the stuff that I learned about the Spider Gates Cemetery out here in Massachusetts, and I want to take some of the lore of the witches and that time in that era, um, because we grew up. I mean, I grew up in a place where all the Salem witch trials took place, and so I want to be able to tie a lot of our history into the story, as well as people having fear and phobias and how to conquer those. So they call it the spider gates the eighth gate to hell. So naturally, I want to make 8 gates where this group of people who inadvertently trigger this place, to open all these gates. Now they have to be able to shut them, and each gate presents them with a different, an objective or a situation where they have to overcome one of their greatest fears, and that's the only way they're going to shut the gate. They have to overcome this fear, and I think that that's going to be a great way to tie in things that can help people. It's just not entertainment, man. I felt entertainment is missing the message. It should have always been like that. But whatever, we're still here. We could do it. And anyhow, I decided I wanted to go ahead and take this story and tell it. I've never written a story. I've never done anything like this at all. During the pandemic, I picked up um, the habit of getting into 3D and VFX, and then learning about filmmaking, and watching people like Corridor Digital and Andrew Price, Andrew Kramer. There's a lot of folks out there that gave me all kinds of different insight and views into the whole process of making my own series. So um, I decided to try ChatGPT now that this has been a thing. So I said to ChatGPT, can you make me a story? If I give you all the information, I'm talking characters, I'm talking, motivations, plot points, yada yada. And it tells me, yeah, I could do that for you. I got you. You provide that information for me, son, and I will drop to you one of the hottest scripts out there. Alright, so now I'm overhyping it, but at the same time, I'm pretty impressed with what it came up with. So check this. I broke down the story. You see here. This is a ton of stuff information that I gave it. I don't know if it's keeping. It seems like it kept track of a lot of it. All right. I'm not gonna read through it, and I'm gonna try to read through some of this stuff really quickly, to try to give you guys an idea of what happens when you give the AI a ton of good information to base a story on, and you let it do its thing, right? So it says, certainly here's a script for the beginning of your episode based on the information that you've provided. I don't know if that's really the AI voice, but I'm giving it to it anyway. So we're gonna fade in. Exterior cabin in the woods, late 1800s. We see a quaint cabin nestled in the woods of New England. Inside, Marmaduke Earl, a Quaker from Massachusetts, is having a heated discussion with his wife Ophelia about rounding up the witches in Salem witch trial era. We must do our part to rid the town of these evil witches. It is our duty as upstanding citizens. But Marmaduke, I fear for our safety. What if they come after us and our family? Our faith will protect us. We cannot let our fear control our actions. I don't know if that's how they're gonna talk or not. But anyhow, I thought that was pretty sick. I told that there was an argument. I let ChatGPT come up with that little dialogue, that back and forth. I didn't create that. That dialogue is strictly by ChatGPT. All right. Um, there's a part where they're arguing, and the child, gets called by a voice in the woods. Um, Originally in my story, she gets distracted. She doesn't want to eat anymore. She wants to play with her doll. And so she asks to be excused. She walks towards her room, and the opening of the the house, or the doorway, leads to the woods. It's on the way to her room, and so she hears the voice. So anyhow, um, this is it's actually telling that part of the story. Again, I only gave it a little bit of information, and it did write the rest of this. As they continue their argument, their youngest daughter, Tabitha, hears a voice calling her name in the woods. She asks to be excused from the table, and her parents allow her to go. Be careful, Tabitha. The woods can be dangerous. As Tabitha ventures into the woods, she... Ooh. Sorry. The camera cuts back to Marmaduke and Ophelia. Suddenly, they hear Tabitha's blood-curdling scream. Tabitha! Marmaduke rushes to the door and looks into the woods, but he doesn't see his daughter. He follows her screams until he comes across a clearing where a coven of witches, all dressed in black cloaks, is gathered. One of them is holding on to Tabitha. Let her go. Take me instead. Very well. Your daughter may leave, but you must stay. Marmaduke says his final goodbyes to Tabitha, tells her to run straight home and not to turn back for anything. He looks up at the moon and he screams as he's taken back by two dark figures and brought towards a stake in the ground. Again, that is pretty dope. I gave it very little information, but I did try to give it the right information, if that makes sense. When you're trying to direct that AI, you have to just provide it with information in blocks. And you got to think like a computer, is the way I see it. And it's gonna read the information in its own process. And yeah, maybe I don't understand the process fully yet, but it is how you talk to it. You know what I mean? And ChatGPT allows you to talk a little more conversational, which is kind of cool, and it understands what you're saying conversationally. So I'm learning how to be able to ask it, the right things by providing the right information in the context to the question. All right. So I know I got a little deep there, but I think that really helps a lot with you getting what you expect to get out of it. It's just asking it the right way. And I'm not a pro. I'm not acting like a pro or nothing. For me, this is just how I feel. I've always broken things down in a certain way, and this is what I think. It's a machine, right? So, anyways, I asked it to bring us to the present day because, that whole part of that scene, Earl Marmaduke, he's one of the stones at this graveyard that is that this whole thing's based on. And one of the biggest stories they tell is the story of the tombstone of Earl Marmaduke. And so he had nothing to do with the Salem witch trials. I basically gave him my own backstory. All right, so none of this is actual. This is just me putting a spin on it, and I made it seem as if he was part of a Puritan bunch or a Quaker bunch that decided that they wanted to take out who they thought were witches, right? And there's going to be a lot of more going on to that, and I'll get to that in the story. Yeah, you guys will see it. Anyways, I'm just, I had to show you guys this because I might use it a little bit, All right, I'm not gonna use this fully to write a story. I think that there's moments and times that it misunderstands what I'm asking for, and sometimes it cuts through things too fast. But it does leave you with some really good ideas and kind of like a good structure to work off of. But it's also based on your thing. Um, I asked it to continue the story in the present day, right? And the witch who had been lurking in the shadows of the spider gates felt a powerful surge of energy emanating from Victoria's botched spell. She realized immediately that the gate to hell had been opened, and that Malthus's plan is finally coming to fruition. I fucking love that. Excuse my language, but I fucking love that. I gave it a very minimal information, and this is exactly the relationship that the witch and Malthus have with each other. It understood that from the amount of information I provided it. That is insane. All right. Um, I think the video is getting a bit long, so I'm gonna go ahead and peace out. But I do appreciate you guys stopping by. There's a lot more coming about the Spider Gates. It's a long project. It's something that I've been working on for a really long time, and I'm passionate about it because there are things in it that I think are gonna be helpful for people. So it's not just entertaining; it's providing information as well. Um, but I'm just really excited about what the future holds as far as technology goes, and being able to utilize tools like AI to be able to help streamline some of the process. I'm a one-man band. I'm doing this all by myself, and while I might have help from friends and people out there, um, ultimately I'm running the show, and so I really have to figure all of this out. And it's been quite a journey. I met a lot of people along the way, and I've been very grateful for their information and their advice. And um, so I give a lot of big respect to people like Corridor Digital, Rocket Jump, the Film Riot. There's just so many people. I can't even, off the top of my head, there's just so many people out there. I implore you, if you want to get into this stuff, there's so much information on YouTube. Um, Maybe I'll put together a list of the people that I think that are the best help, and try to look at it in the way of what are you trying to do. Um, I'm taking on a lot of hats, so I'm all over the place. That might not be the best for a lot of people. Find something you like, and something you're really passionate about, and just get really good at that. And if you want to get into all the other things, just get good at what you want to get good at first, and what your name's gonna be about. Do that, and everything else will follow. Um, for me, I do things the hard way. What do you want me to say? I love this, and I really want to tell this story. I really enjoy the fact that I have people out there that are interested in what I want to do. And so just keep on coming back. I will keep putting out new material. Um, and the more support I get, the more possible this is going to be. And I really want to make it for y'all. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is for you guys. I'm not making money on it. It, I'm not getting paid by any big studio. This is a passion project. This is all coming out of my own pocket, my own time. Um, but I think the story is going to be great. And it would be awesome to have some of y'all put your input, maybe even come through. You want to jump in, that's fine. Let's make a dope story. Let's shake it up, right? All right. Well, it's late. I'm tired. I wanted to show you guys a little something. The AI blew my mind today. I really could not go to sleep until I dropped this because I am just really beside myself right now, as it almost felt like I wrote this thing, you know, and I'm so surprised at how detailed it even made some of the stuff. I didn't go through the whole thing, and I would probably rewrite some of it, yes, but it's still amazing. There's so many other tools coming out, and I'm gonna put out videos on all the things that I'm coming across because it is happening, people. AI is starting to change the scenery. You have to learn and adapt. You know what I mean? I think that once they work out all the legal stuff, things will get a little bit better. We'll have an understanding of what you can and can't do. Um, but it is a helpful tool. Being able to take rotoscoping, a big pain in the ass thing to do, it does it automatically for you. That's one less thing you have to worry about. You could keep worrying about the story. For me, I think it's always and should always be about the story. The more time you have to develop that, it's just like a stew. You know what I mean? You develop a stew over hours. You let it build those flavors. Um, you tell a compact story. You better make sure you're marinating them flavors right. You're not gonna have a lot of time to work with. So, anyways, um, again, I want to thank you guys for coming through. I know I'm yammering, and I just want to give y'all a big shout out. Thanks again. Y'all helped me out, and we're gonna keep doing this. So I'm gonna fix my whole setup. We're gonna get everything looking right. Let's just get it right. Y'all keep crushing it, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. One love, peace.